Hello again folks, and welcome to Black Bear Outdoors. Now today we're pretty excited to bring you another pretty awesome pistol. Of course I'm talking about the HK VP9, which is no stranger to the channel since we did do a video on the originally released VP9s back in 2014. Now today's video we're going to be focusing on the differences between the current iterations and those original ones. So if you want to learn more about the background of them and go into detail about the different features it's got, check out that video. We'll put a card up here on the screen or maybe a link down in the description. Now in 2020 they've made a bunch of changes to the firearm, not massively so, but good and significant ones. One of which I really enjoyed is the idea that it now gets cut from the factory for an optic. And then of course Holosun comes out with their SCS line of optics, and they made one specifically for the HK VP9. That means it mounts directly to your slide without a plate or anything like that. Got me very excited. So guys, what we're going to do is we're going to take it into the table. Of course we'll take a quick look at some of the features of the pistol, and then take a look at the optic as well. Then we'll head out to the range, shoot at some, and then we'll give you guys our final thoughts. Before we head to the table though, I just ask you guys to check if you're still subscribed. YouTube's been up to their shenanigans again, and looks like there's been a target painted on the gun tuber community yet again. We'd really appreciate that, and if throughout this video you think we deserve it, please give us a thumbs up and leave us a comment down below. Alright guys, so let's head over to the table and let's take a closer look at this rig. Alright folks, now that we got the pistol on the table, let's take a closer look. So you'll notice that aesthetically it looks exactly like the original 2014 version, but there has been a few differences. It still has the charging assists in the back that some people call tabs or ears. It still has probably the best ergonomics I've ever had on a gun. It can do 27 different configurations on the back and side panels. Fantastic trigger. It's got a rail for your lights and lasers and stuff like that. Your front and back serrations it still has, and it also has the ambi slide stops and the paddle mag release. They do, however, have a VP9B version which has the normal push button mag release, the American style one. Alright, so some of the differences though is that firstly the newer versions have a beefier recoil spring that they come out with. Also you're going to notice that the sights have been changed. So if you look at the rear sight there, for example, you're going to see it's now a blacked out sight. It's not the 3-dot photoluminescent ones. The front one is still a photoluminescent, but the rear ones are blacked out and they are ledged now. So you'll see if you want to rack it off a boot or a belt or something, you'll be able to do that as well. One of the bigger features for me obviously is the optics cut in the factory. And then a fourth thing that they did is actually with the magazines, they changed the internal geometry of the magazines to allow for a bigger capacity. So the original ones were 15 round capacity and the newer ones are now 17 round capacity. And as far as I understand it, because they didn't change the geometry of the actual grip, those mags will work perfectly fine in your 2014 version. Depending on where you buy yours, I got 3 17 round magazines with mine, as well as a hard case and a soft case, so that was pretty nice. And let's move on to the other star of the show, which is the Holosun SCS for VP9, right? So this one was made specifically to be direct mounted on the VP9 here. You can see it's very flush and sits very low, which is actually a really cool thing, because that means you don't need suppressor height sights in order to go witness it, right? And that's important because think about it. If you are training with your iron sights and you present your pistol the exact same way every single time, and you got your iron sights lined up, now if you add the dot, let's say you're new to a dot, it's not going to be such a steep learning curve, because the dot's going to be right there where you're used to presenting your pistol, right? So it's going to be a much quicker transition into an optic than you would normally have by needing kind of suppressor height sights and things like that. Alright, the other part of this is the reticles that you get on these. That's a green reticle. So it's a donut similar to the EOTech. You'll see on the little picture we'll put in there, which is quite nice. It's great for fast acquisition, especially with things like bull drills or Mozambique drills, like you'll see when we do in our montage. You can pick up that reticle very, very quickly. For more precise shots, you can set it to just the dot, or if you want, you can just have the circle as well. Another cool feature of the Holosun is that it doesn't actually have changeable batteries. It's got an internal battery, but you'll notice there on the back it has solar panels. So it charges the internal battery with solar or with a light source, and it's 50,000 hours worth of power. And according to the testing that they did on Sage Dynamics from Aaron Cowan, these 50,000 hours get reset every single time it goes into a light source, because it fast charges that battery. Now he's had his over a year, and he's left it in a safe for 3 weeks and all kinds of things like that, and basically he's had no problems, no deviation on brightness or anything. It's been absolutely perfect. The only thing that you might not like is that it's auto adjusting for, you know, kind of how bright it is. However, in my personal testing, being in a dark room, pointing it into a light source or vice versa, I had no issues. It adjusted perfectly. All right, so that is a pretty cool optic on a fantastic pistol. So one thing I do have to mention, something that I saw, because I'm a little bit geeky this way, I do a lot of research before I buy anything. The only complaints that I found about on these Holosun optics is the screws they send with. Apparently they're cast screws and they tend to break off in the slide. So I never even used those. I just used my own screws and Loctited the living daylights out of it, and it's been absolutely great. Okay, alright guys, enough with my jibber jabber. Let's get to the fun stuff. Let's take it outside and put a few hundred rounds through it, do all kinds of drills. Like I said, we're going to do some Mozambiques, we're going to do some bull drills, we're just going to shoot for accuracy. These things, by the way, are incredibly accurate out of the box with, I think it's the polygonal, or however you pronounce that, rifling that they use in their barrels as well. So it's going to be more accurate than you are, so you can rest assured in that. Alright, so let's get to the fun stuff. Stay tuned. So there you have it, folks. What a fantastic pistol. Yes, I'm a bit of a fanboy still. I forgot how much I love shooting these pistols. The trigger on these are great. They actually hit that sweet spot for me personally between being a lightweight trigger, a great pull, and a nice reset, right? So it's one of those things you don't have to think about the trigger. It just goes when you feel it's going to break, or when you think it's going to break, rather. The optic worked fantastic, and especially with that donut, doing drills like the bullet drill and the Mozambique you saw in our little montage there, it was really fast to pick up the reticle and then get your follow-up shots from there. Also helped along by that great trigger in the HK. So guys, we love this rig. It's affordable, it's fantastic, cannot recommend it high enough. So if you guys learned something new, or if you were a little bit entertained, again, please leave us a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, hit that subscribe button, and you all stay safe, and we'll see you next time.